Alrighty, I don't know why that thumbnail was there. But hey, I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here in our week 15 together of the semester in remote learning week 5. This is AP language and composition, obviously. This is Mr. Main speaking to you all. If you want to get in touch with me during my office hours, as always, it's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. You guys know my email is mmain@d51schools.org. Hope you guys are doing well. I just got back from a run not too long ago. Now it's looking like it's kind of gloomy outside. So I'm glad I got out when I did. Get the puppy in about 12 days, I think. So that's a huge celebration for me. I hope you guys are having some celebratory days as well, as we need to focus on those days during this time, I think. I hope you guys are doing well. As always, if you need anything, you know to just reach out, or if you just want to chat. I've got a lot of just fun emails from you guys, so I really do appreciate that. The breakdown for the week, you guys know the drill at this point. We operate on a weekly basis. I'll have the slides uploaded each week with the video walkthrough. There will also be the lessons, agenda, learning targets, weekly assignments, all uploaded on those slides. And the video walkthrough, I navigate all of those lessons and learning targets and you name it. So do watch the videos. Obviously, if you're watching now, you are, so thank you. We're gonna have one assignment due this week. It's gonna be a little lengthier, so it really could even out to 2 or 3 assignments, but we're gonna be focusing with rhetorical analysis again this week, and we're going to do some different steps with that for a specific prompt from the 2017 exam. That is my email, of course. If you guys have any questions or need to just reach out at any point, you know to do that. So if you are with me, give me a thumbs up. Alrighty. As always, the video conferencing option is there for you. Some of you guys said you don't have a preference. Some of you guys said I don't want to do video conferencing, but some of you did. So if you want to have a conference for whatever reason, for some feedback, if you want some questions quickly answered, if you want some step-by-step help with any of your work, please let me know a time that works for you and we can get that arranged. Anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. would work, but I can work around your schedule as well. I've had other meetings outside of that time frame, so just let me know. These are optional, but are available to you. So if you do desire to have one, just shoot me an email and we'll get that squared away. So before we get into the agenda for the week and things like that, you guys have maybe seen this information already, but AP College Board has sent out some more information. Most of it is just kind of repetitive things that we've already gone through together in the video walkthroughs. But this information, like I said, should have been sent to you via email. However, in case you missed it, the Google slide presentation that they sent out is linked here. I'll click on that in just a second. So view this slideshow that's linked here with your parents and have your parents and you yourself make sure you guys are checking up on your emails frequently, because there are going to be more and more bits of information being released about the exam here within the next coming weeks. So please make sure you're staying on top of your emails. If you click this link, it pulls up this slideshow right here. I'm not going to go through every single slide because some of it isn't necessarily applicable to us, but I will kind of touch on some of the things that maybe we already know, maybe not. Present. Sweet. So as you guys know, we're doing the exams this year at home. And based on a survey that College Board sent out, a lot of students said that they still wanted the opportunity to earn the college credit. So they have navigated this way to give you guys the exam at home. Ours will be of one free response exam. There is some more details here. Obviously, we know at this point that the focus for our exam is going to be rhetorical analysis, right? One thing that is kind of interesting is that you are able to either type and upload your response or write responses by hand and submit a photo through a cell phone picture. Thought that was interesting. I'm sure most of you guys will probably type it out. The exam will be 45 minutes long, with an additional 5 minutes for uploading. Make sure you access the online testing system 30 minutes early to get set up. That way, if there's any hiccups, you have time to get through on at the right time. There's some tips here for taking open book and open note exams. Might be useful for you. I've looked at it. I don't know if it's worth sharing in this video, but you could go and take a peek at that. This isn't the page that I want to show you. So just to kind of reiterate, we have a schedule here on the next slide. And our exam day is on May 20th, and I believe it's at noon. This page right here has all AP exams. So if you're looking for your other exams, I know a lot of you are in multiple AP classes. This would be the place that you go to. So if we're scrolling down, we're right here, May 20th, Mountain Time, 12 o'clock. So May 20th at 12 o'clock. So make sure you get on at 11:30 on May 20th to make sure that you are logged in. Information on that and like how to access the exam will be given to us here shortly. So make sure you take care of business on that end. The makeup day for the AP language exam is, let's find it, right here, English language and composition, June 5th. We scroll up, Mountain Time, 10 a.m. So you'd want to hop on at 9:30, but I think you guys should be able to get on that May 20th date. But for whatever reason, this would be your makeup option. Alrighty, so if you have questions on that, let me know and we can get some things squared away. As you guys know, it's going to be a 45-minute exam on rhetorical analysis. This is stuff that we have been working on. This is stuff that we did at the beginning of the year, but have cycled back to end out our time together. The rubric will still be on a 1 to 6 scale in terms of how they grade it, but then they'll adjust that score and put it on a 1 through 5 scale. From my knowledge, they basically take like an average score of what you students received throughout the country and then make an average based on those scores. And if you get a 3, 4, or 5, that is a college credit applicable score. So that is that. Obviously, that's not really giving you any clear-cut answers like what score you would need on the writing to get a 3, 4, or 5. But just keep that in mind. They anticipate releasing scores as close to the usual July timeframe. Before you take the exam, there's going to be a series of protocols that prevent cheating on your end. I know you guys won't cheat, but really they're just trying to ensure that you, the student, are the one, or is the one who is taking the exam rather than somebody else. And they have some protocols to kind of discern who is taking the exam and making sure that the person who did the protocols is matching up with the person taking the exam. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I don't know too much about what those protocols would look like. I attended a webinar and they didn't give us that information really because they don't really want us to know either, because they want it to be as like reflective of you as possible without me trying to like give you any pointers beforehand, I guess. That's the kind of notion I took away from it. But nothing to worry about, I would say. I know you guys are valuing your academic integrity, so I'm not too concerned about that with you guys. There are some review lessons on the AP YouTube page. We've looked at one of those. There will be some opportunity to look at some more of those YouTube videos in the coming weeks as we continue to prepare for the rhetorical analysis exam. That is the like live streaming time frame for these YouTube exam videos. It's not really a huge deal for us because they do save the videos so we can access them at any time. Some additional information on how to prepare for the exam and taking the exam. This is stuff kind of what I can do on my end, trying to just share this information with you, use the tools that College Board has given us, which we've been doing. Yeah. That one's for AP coordinators. That doesn't really apply to us. Some important dates. There's a website thread that has some more additional information. I've shown you guys this thread before in prior weeks, but you can go revisit that page if you desire. And they also have a Q&A with frequently asked questions about the AP exam this year with this link right here. So you have the opportunity to take a look at that as well. And that is it. That's the slides. There is going to be more information given to us within the next week or two, I'm sure. So make sure you're staying on top of that. And like I said, make sure you view that slideshow with your parents, and both of you guys check your emails frequently for that information that will come out. One other thing before we move into the week, I received an email from College Board. All AP teachers did, and I am basically just copy and pasting what they said. This is a message to you guys. It says, "Hello students, to ensure you are receiving critical information, make sure you log into your My AP to remind yourself of the email address and cell phone number you have asked the College Board to use. If you want, you can change how we contact you. 2 days before each exam, you will receive an email code with a personalized e-ticket that will include your 8-character AP ID code. If you do not receive the email, however, you'll be able to access your e-ticket directly through your My AP account." So this link right here takes you to the login for your My AP set up with College Board. So make sure you guys log on to there, get some things squared away so you can be able to access that AP ID when the time comes. Obviously, they don't have that for you yet, but they should give it to you here shortly. So you just type it in right there, and you'd be squared away. There's also a video message for some words of encouragement from, trying to wait for that screen to pull away. It's from college admissions counselors across the country, just to kind of encourage you a little bit. So I'll play it and then we'll move forward. I actually am not going to play it because I don't know if you guys can hear the sound. Usually I think you can, but I don't know if I set it up completely correct. But you have the opportunity to watch this. It is linked in the slides right here. Basically, they just talk about the value of the AP exam and know that you are taking it at home, you still have an incredible opportunity to receive credits and kind of provide you with some encouraging words before you move forward in the exam. So take a moment, look at that when you get a chance. Alrighty. Now moving into our stuff for the week. We're going to continue with our rhetorical analysis practice. This time we're going to use the 2017 rhetorical analysis prompt. It's from a piece written by journalist Claire Booth Luce. And we're going to do a little practice activity with some various steps where we analyze the rhetorical situation. We have some pre-reading questions. We do a rhetorical reading, then we do a say, mean, matter analysis, answer some closing questions, and read some sample essays with the scores being justified on your end, like why this score got a good score, why the score could have maybe improved, or what they could have improved upon. You have the option to write a rhetorical analysis essay for this prompt. It's not required on my end in terms of like scoring and grading for the week's assignment, but it is optional. I think it's good practice. I'll explain what that looks like later. And then obviously make sure you're reading in a novel or reading something worthy of your time. You will be getting some scores and feedback from the Madeline Albright essay you guys wrote last week. Take a look at those scores when you receive them, look at the feedback that I've given you. And if you have any questions, please just shoot me an email. Obviously, with this one rhetorical analysis practice assignment for this week, that will be what is due on Friday, May 1st. Dang, it's already May 1st on Friday. That is wild. I kind of reiterated these with the week agenda, but learning targets, I'm hoping by the end of this week, you can analyze the rhetorical situation of the 2017 rhetorical analysis prompt, explain how Luce uses rhetorical choices based on the rhetorical situation, read the text with a focus on identifying rhetorical choices, explain the impact rhetorical choices have on the author's purpose and the intended audience, justify a sample essay score using the rhetorical analysis rubric, and lastly, read a novel or text suitable for your reading level. Alrighty, so I know it seems kind of probably dry and like methodical at this point with just repeating rhetorical analysis work, but we're going to continue with that for this week. The best way I believe that we can grow in this form of reading and writing is to simply be exposed to more prompts. So with that said, we're going to focus on the 2017 rhetorical analysis. That is everything that we are going to do with this activity. I just said that in the past 2 slides, so I'm not going to say it again. But the assignment on Google Classroom is labeled Loose Prompt Rhetorical Analysis Practice. You will have access to the document to type on it. And in this video that you're watching right now, I'm going to model my thinking with the rhetorical situation and how I'm kind of analyzing it, because this one, in my opinion, does have the potential to be a little tricky. But I'm going to model my thinking with it. So do watch this video. Obviously you are if you're watching it right now. But it might help you with understanding the rhetorical situation here that I'm going to show for this prompt. If you have questions, as always, you guys know what my email is. So if you go on Classroom and you find that assignment, Loose Prompt Rhetorical Analysis Practice, it will pull up this. And it's a step-by-step assignment. It says complete the rhetorical analysis exercise for the 2017 rhetorical analysis exam. Follow the steps in order. If you have any questions, please reach out to Mr. Main for assistance. Okay. Step 1 is to read the prompt for this rhetorical analysis. Identify or annotate for elements of SOAPs. Remember, this is like the speaker, the exigence or the occasion, the audience, the purpose, and the subject. Understanding these, of being able to identify these, is helping us understand and identify the rhetorical situation. So this is the prompt. Make that clear a little bit. You will be able to see the text here in a moment too as well. So just, I don't want to give it away yet because I want us to just focus on this prompt right here before we even look at the actual text. Sorry, I kind of just went on a little tangent. But it says, the prompt, the passage below is the opening to a speech made in 1960 by American journalist and politician Clare Boothe Luce to journalists at the Women's National Press Club. In this speech, Luce went on to criticize the tendency of the American press to sacrifice journalistic integrity in favor of the perceived public demand for sensationalist stories. Read the passage carefully, then in a well-developed essay, analyze how Luce uses this introduction to prepare the audience for her message. Support your analysis of her rhetoric with specific references to the text. Okay, so to begin, if we think about the speaker or the writer, obviously it is this woman right here, American journalist and politician Clare Boothe Luce. She is the speaker, obviously. And her audience, then, it says it right after, American journalist and politician Clare Boothe Luce to journalists at the Women's National Press Club. That is her audience, obviously. And one other thing to kind of point out with her being a speaker, she is obviously a credible journalist. Oops. Where's my computer freezing? Credible journalist who is being asked to speak at this Women's National Press Club. Okay, that is her audience, other journalists at the Women's National Press Club. And for thinking about her occasion or the exigence, it's hinted at right here. In this speech, Luce went on to criticize the tendency of the American press to sacrifice journalistic integrity in favor of the perceived public demand for sensationalist stories. The way that I perceive sensationalist stories is kind of this wow factor that this journalistic profession is trying to incorporate within their writing. With adding sensationalist stories, maybe they are taking away from the truth or the integrity of a piece because they want to make it maybe appear more polished and I don't know, appealing to a larger audience. So Luce is going on to criticize that in her speech. But take a moment. This is the opening to a speech. So we are specifically looking at the opening. Mr. Main cannot type today. Of the speech. Not the entire speech. So though her purpose in the speech is to criticize the tendency of the American press, that is not her purpose in this opening. The purpose in this opening is stated right here. Read the passage carefully, then in a well-developed essay, analyze how Luce uses this introduction to prepare the audience for her message. This is the purpose we want to analyze. We're not analyzing how she is criticizing the tendency of the American press to sacrifice journalistic integrity. No, we're looking at how this introduction, this opening to the speech, prepares the audience for her message. I hope that makes sense, because I can see that being tricky, where a student might just think, okay, she's criticizing the American press in this speech. She is in the speech, but this is just the opening to the speech. And that is what we are looking at specifically, just the opening. So if I'm looking at journalistic integrity, I would say that is the subject, and it kind of hints at the exigence as well. Luce is pointing out the unfavorable ways of approaching journalism by sacrificing journalistic integrity to create stories that are simply more appealing or sensational, I'll say. Alrighty. So that is important to know. I hope that makes sense. I don't think you'll have these annotations when you see the actual document, so I do think it's valuable that you watch this video, and obviously you are. So remember that as you begin to go through this. Step 2 then just basically has you answer or identify the rhetorical situation through a series of questions. Step 3 then is where you read and annotate the passage. You can print it out and annotate on that actual passage, or you can, just use a half sheet or a scratch piece of paper to annotate and write your thoughts on. Think about this question: how does she use rhetoric to kind of solve these problems, or these ways that her audience may not appear to take her seriously or not absorb her message? She has a very strategic way to kind of set them up to get ready to be criticized, essentially. So think about that closely as you read through this passage. Break the passage into 3 parts and identify a rhetorical choice employed in each section. So if you click on this slide here, or on this link here, page 11 has the passage. I'm not going to read it in this video, but I'm just showing you where you find it. If my computer will load it. Obviously, my computer is older than dirt. Here we go. Alrighty. So here's the passage. There is the prompt that we just analyzed for the rhetorical situation. And there's the passage. It's just 1 page, 60 lines. That is it. Yeah, so break it up into 3 parts. Maybe this is 1 part. Maybe this is another part. And then maybe these last few sections are the last part. However you want to break it up, it's totally fine. But after you have broken it up, identified a rhetorical choice in each section, complete this say main matter chart for each section that you identified. For the say, you want to briefly summarize what is happening in this part of the speech, what is happening, who is involved. The next part is the mean, and also I kind of added the how. Like, what do you know the writer doing in this passage, describing the moves she is making? Is she using repetition? Is she speaking anecdotally? Is she comparing, associating with something else, etc.? And then lastly, looking at the choices for the matter section, what makes this strategic choice, what makes this a strategic choice considering the audience's attitude towards the speaker and topic? How does it help her achieve her purpose? What potential problems does it solve? Thinking about these questions obviously will lend to some solid commentary in a body paragraph if you chose to write this analysis. So there's 3 sections here. Section 5 then just has you look at some closing analysis questions. Step 6 then is where you read some samples. There are 2 samples, sample 1 and sample 2. My computer will load it. Yeah, so this is the high scoring sample, sample 1. And then below is the mid scoring sample, sample 2. There's also a rubric, the rhetorical analysis rubric. You guys have seen this. We reviewed it last week. Hopefully you have a strong understanding of it at this point. So view the rubric, look at the samples, and consider why is sample 1 an effective essay. What score would you give this essay out of 6? And explain your reasoning using specific evidence from the essay. Same question for sample 2. It's considered a middle of the road kind of essay. Why would you, or what would you give this score out of 6? And explain your reasoning for that. And then lastly, you can write your own rhetorical analysis for this Clare Boothe Luce prompt. This is optional for the week, though it can be good practice for you. So I would time yourself, giving yourself about 35 minutes to write, 5 minutes to reread the prompt and the passage, and then use the outline for the rhetorical analysis linked here to help aid your writing. I hope these links aren't all too confusing. I try to make it as simple and transparent as possible. But this is something you guys have seen before. It's just the outline for your rhetorical analysis. If you do these things, you'll be solid. In your commentary, remember, these are the key questions you want to help kind of guide your commentary in your body paragraphs. You can just write your rhetorical analysis on this document. And that is it. I know that's kind of a lot, so break it up into chunks. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Really try to understand what this rhetorical situation is here, because like I said, it can be tricky, and I feel like they're trying to set you up to analyze how she's criticizing, but she is setting up her audience, preparing them for future criticism. And last but not least, you guys, I think you guys have all submitted those one-pagers. Most of you have. If you have not, please do. Make sure you are staying up to date on current events and are continuing to read. And as always, if you guys have questions, please just reach out and let me know. Before I sign off, The next couple of weeks leading up to the exam, it's going to be more review stuff. So it's really going to be on you as far as like how much prep you want to put in. I'm going to give you guys all the resources that I think you'll need to be successful. Um, Obviously, I'm here for you guys in any way you need, but just make sure you guys are taking care of those things that you need to do to in order to ensure that you will be successful on the exam. I know you guys will kill it. I'm confident in each and every one of you. And I truly mean that. So I think you will do great. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you guys have a great, great week. Be safe. Be smart. Make your parental guardians proud. And as always, go forth and conquer.